When I was 17, I spent some time in a children's inpatient psychiatric ward in a university hospital. I remember the first night being admitted at 2 a.m. after waiting in the lobby for 12 hours, stripped of my belongings and bare of my clothes, staring at the ceiling of my bed, wondering what was going to happen to me and what the hell my life had come to. I was utterly beside myself that this was going to be a part of my story forever. The next day, there's a cardboard box on my desk filled with various toys and activities. Peeking from the corner was a paper box. When I opened it, I was greeted with an origami crane, folded by a volunteer. Those blue walls and oak floors that envelop me are now my safe space, characterized by a well-oiled machine designed to keep me as happy as possible. Nurses would check in every morning and night, therapy sessions twice a day, wellness activities, and bedtime at 10 p.m. to Adult Swim reruns. It saved my life. It gave me a space to exist in a world where the woes of the outside world couldn't interfere. I had no expectations, no pressures, nobody to work for except myself. I was so free to just exist. During my college freshman year winter semester, I felt lost beyond repair. After the death of my great uncle, I started to experience what most adults would describe as a quarter-life crisis. I hadn't expected to make it to college, and the feeling that I was doing nothing with my life slowly started to make its way to the forefront of every thought that I had. To remedy this feeling, I started a club at my college to donate paper cranes to hospitals, to turn the trauma that I endured into social impact. However, I had no idea why I was doing it. By the time summer came, I lost attachment to everything that I had thought made me, me. I was struck with the realization that I knew nothing about anything. So, I did what anyone would do. I booked a flight for the weekend to visit my great aunt and talk to her about my great uncle. I called him Flutata because one day when I was 3 years old, I saw him playing the flute. The name stuck, and soon the whole family called him Flutata. When I arrived, I asked my great aunt to share all the stories that I didn't know. Eventually, I brought up that he was the president of the Lions Club in his city, a volunteer organization dedicated to improving communities. She smiled and said it was nothing compared to the rest of his work. The more I heard, the more I was in awe of what he had achieved. Building an ophthalmology hospital and giving free cataract surgeries, providing free public sanitation for a slum, instituting a statewide policy for free lunches for all school children. The stories just kept coming. She showed me the tremendous impact that a single person could have on their community. I felt so conflicted. When I needed him the most, the one person that I could talk to was gone. However, I felt an enormous privilege that I could call him family. His work wasn't just about solving problems, it was about restoring faith in humanity and showing others that someone cared enough to make a difference, just like the volunteer who folded me my paper crane. I knew I had to live up to his legacy, and that his spirit was what I needed to find my place in this world. I started pouring all of my time into Crane Club, expanding the organization, trying to find a piece of him within my work. Slowly but surely, through bigger and bigger accomplishments for my community, and the patient inside of me began to truly heal. The origami crane I received in the hospital was a symbol of hope and healing during one of the darkest times of my life. It gave me strength, much like what Flutata brought to countless others through his incredible acts of service. But it wasn't enough. I slowly started to drop out of my responsibilities. Over the summer of 2024, I'd invite all of my friends every week to my house. I'd cook them dinner and they'd fold me cranes. Things fell apart as drama emerged and I dealt with it extremely poorly. I hated what Crane Club had become. I held it up to extremely high standards, and some events that had transpired made me feel like all of my effort was in vain. I hated my friends, I hated what my life had come to, and I hated myself more than anything. I became extremely upset and obsessed with myself, feeling magnificently behind compared to the rest of the world, but unable to do a damn thing about it. Every attempt I made to make my life better utterly backfired, as it was based in instability and suicidal ideation. For something that I had been touting as giving me such grand purpose, I was being the biggest hypocrite out of anyone in my life. I started to feel soul-wrenching anxiety when I was managing that big a group of volatile people. I felt like those who were most supportive and engaged in Crane Club's vision were only doing it for performative means, and that I was making all these efforts to be represented by people who might become liabilities further down the line. People genuinely cared about what I did, but I was beside myself for other reasons. I liked doing what I did, but I expected to feel differently whenever I accomplished bigger and bigger things. I would go to the hospital and see the 2,000 crane art installation we had just made and stare. I was told that over 100,000 people saw it in 2 months that it was up, and that it got the most praise out of any installation the hospital did. But again, the overwhelming emotions came up. They didn't heal the broken boy inside of me like I thought it would. For these reasons, I gave up. donations to hospitals, and art installations seized at around 5,000 cranes by mid-2025. Starting the new year, I want to shed the habits that have made me a worse person. I was looking for the wrong things for the wrong reasons and took it out on what was genuinely a shining example of the person that I could live up to be. Crane Club was never and should never have been a way to undo or make up for the trauma done to me. It is and can continue to be what it should always have been. Small acts of service for ambient memories. I know exactly what Crane Club is and I know how to achieve it. I finished a new website, printed out the freshest posters, and I just ordered 500 sheets of the cleanest origami paper. I can't wait to dive back into the hobby that brought people so much. I love volunteer work and I love the hospital more than anything. I don't think I want to throw away an opportunity because my addictions to self-sabotage overcame my ability to create pure, unadulterated joy. The original aesthetic of Crane Club was 90s Netscape, but I'm more inspired by 2000s Chrome art and vector art for this new era. I'll post some more updates on Crane Club over time and pick my platform back up as a beacon of hope for my community. Thank you for your time.